Hey guys, happy Tuesday to everybody. I am here and it is hot as Hades outside, so I'm going to do this video instead of the other videos I had planned for this week. We have to adjust. I know others are feeling my pain right now because if you're in the US, we're amidst some crazy weather. Some of us have extreme heat temperatures and others are having snow and weird stuff. It's all over the map. So it is way too warm for me to do the outing videos that I was planning this week. And sorry, I always see how my hair looks as soon as I turn on the camera. But anyways, so I wanted to talk about something that's really been on my mind a lot lately. It's been on my mind for a long time, but this is something that I've talked recently, kind of hinting towards in a lot of my videos, especially when I'm talking about first getting Addie and what I think of her proportions and all of that. So what I want to chat about with you guys is doll bodies. It's such a huge pet peeve of mine to the lack of choice or lack of proper doll body to match vinyl kits that we have these days. With all of the technology, with all of the new innovations, I'm so surprised a bit that we don't have more choices. Or, you guys can weigh in because I'd be curious to know what your thoughts are based on your experience. There's a lacking choice for proper fitting doll bodies. And I don't understand where the issue is at. So I see beautiful dolls being made and then they get assembled and you see the artist showing this beautifully painted doll, but then it's put on a body that you can clearly see it doesn't match the limbs and the head as far as proportions. Now you guys hear me talk about all the time. I'm always talking about how important it is to have the correct proportions for a doll. And for me, it's a huge thing. If a doll's out of proportion, I can't bond with it. I can't look past it. I want ultimate realism. And if you hear my dog, she's scratching on the couch because she's trying to get herself comfortable. But what I don't understand is that how do people not see that they're out of proportion when they assemble them? So if you're an artist, and please, share your thoughts with me because I'm really curious to know, how does an artist, when you've spent all this time and effort painting this beautiful surface, looks so realistic, and then you see it being assembled and you put it on a doll body that may or may not have come with it. I know that there are standard bodies that come with certain kits, right? You order the kit, the body comes with it, it's standard. My issue with that is if it's not the right body when you're putting it together, why isn't more care taken or thought put into it to find a proper body if we're really looking at proportions? Because especially when on the bigger dolls, it's more noticeable, I think, to me on the bigger dolls because the bodies are so overstuffed. I've talked about this here and there, and it's just such a thing about, I don't know, it eats at me because I don't understand how people haven't caught on to this and wanted to correct it. When you have this giant stuffed round body on a big doll, when you put clothes on it, even remotely fitted clothes on it, it's gonna look like a doll instead of looking like a child. That we're, hoping to achieve the realism is to have our dolls look like living children, right? So if you're an artist out there, please share your thoughts with me. Is it because there aren't the right choices? Because I see collectors, once they get the dolls and realize the bodies aren't right for them, they will go purchase a different body to correct it, then restuff it properly so it's not overstuffed. There are ways to put in support systems in bigger dolls without overstuffing the body so that proportionally the doll looks right, but it also can hold itself up. There are innovative ways. But it takes us to think outside the box in which to get to those solutions. I'm like a problem solver. It's just me by nature because I'm obsessive compulsive. So, and I see something out of step or that doesn't look right, I have to fix it. It's just the nature of me. I can't let it go. I can't unsee it. I know many of you comment that you worry too much or you think too much about these things. You can't change an obsessive compulsive brain. You can't change it. You can work with it, and you can try to, find ways to deal with your thoughts, but really the solutions are the way that I get rid of those thoughts in my brain and I stop thinking about it. So this has been like chipping away at my brain for a while, and I can't quite comprehend why, if there's a lack of choice out there, why aren't doll producers, the vinyl kit producing companies, why aren't they offering better choices or more broad choices for bodies? And if they are, why aren't artists choosing the right ones? And I want your feedback. Like, this is about having a discussion. It's not about me just talking to talk. I want to know. I'm really super curious because I want to know what the solution is, so that, if you're an artist out there, there are other choices, and that maybe you should spend a little bit more time on picking the right doll body before the doll is sold, because a lot of us collectors are left to have to fix those bodies. It's rare that you don't have to adjust it, and that's okay. Adjusting like a doll stuffed body, like to your liking, that's different. I'm talking about completely off proportions. You either know the body's way too small or the body's way too big. Most of the time it tends to lean towards the body is really undersized for the length of the limbs and the size of the head. And it's just wonky. I don't know. I'll tell you what though, and I've said this in a previous video, that Addie is the first doll that I've received that I haven't wanted to change right off the bat, because her body is really well proportioned to her limbs. And I don't know whether the artist chose the body, or if when the prototype was sent to the artist, the body came with it and it just worked out and the artist knows how to stuff it properly and weight it properly so that it works. But she is the very first out of any doll I've received well over 20 years of collecting and having a ton of vinyl reborns come through my hands. Like, I've always had to change them. I've always had to modify them. Sometimes I have to sew them in different ways so that when you put clothes on them, they look right. And what I don't understand is, like, why are we settling? Especially when we pay top dollar for a work of art, we want it to be right on all fronts, including the realism of the proportions of the body. But I'm dying to know what your thoughts are. So I encourage everybody, and all opinions are welcome, all thoughts. Maybe you're a collector who doesn't pay attention to those specific things, and you don't worry about it. It doesn't bother you. You're putting clothes on it doesn't bother you at all. It's just something you've never even noticed. Share it with me, because I'd really like to know, because this has been driving me crazy, like crazy. And I will also say, well, I can't say that Addie is the only one I haven't changed anything on, but I haven't changed anything with June either. And quite honestly, I don't know. Here's the truth. I don't know really exactly what her body looks like underneath the torso, because I've never taken the torso off. I've not had a need to take the torso off. So I don't know if her body is appropriately sized. My guess is based on, it's understuffed. So in order to fit the body underneath the torso, like, she's understuffed. So it's hard to tell the length of the body per se, because the torso is what's holding her up and giving her structure. I think she's a little bit short in her body, but that might be because the body is way understuffed, so that it's not protruding and it's not, and it makes her flexible. So I think you have to also weigh those things. I don't know, you have to take it all into consideration. So June looks proportionate when she has her clothes on, but I think having the torso is what makes it look proportionate, because my guess is her body is pretty big underneath, and if it were fully stuffed without the torso, because I've seen other Junes without the torso, and they seem to be, again, that teddy bear overstuffed round body that just doesn't look right. So there's that, but I don't know if that's what comes standard. And I don't know if, like, there's how many different doll producers for vinyl kits, and what do they offer? I know they give suggestions, but do they offer a plethora of other choices if you're not happy with the selection of the body that comes with the said kit if you ordered the body with the kit as a complete set. So it's all these things swirling around in my head, but I feel like we need to do better. I feel like artists that are completing the reborns can be doing better. And I also think that the producers of them can do a better job of matching up the bodies to the kits instead of it just being, so here's the other thing. Like, this is what I also think about. Like, I know that you buy a vinyl kit that's supposed to be 20 inches long. I'm just throwing the number out there. And then for a 20-inch long kit, they give you choices for, this body will fit that, that body will fit that. If it's for full limbs, all of that. But here's the thing. Not every 20-inch baby has the same proportions. Some 20-inch babies will have shorter limbs, which means they'll require a shorter body to make the proportions right. Some 20-inch kits are going to have long limbs. Like, let's look at the Laura kit. That kit for sure has really long, lengthy limbs, arms, legs, and you wouldn't put it on the same body as another kit that has shorter limbs, right? So I think there's variation there. Just because it's a standard length kit doesn't mean it should take the same body. Just like humans, we all have different, proportions with our torsos and our arms, and it all, there's variation there, but some of them just don't work. Or the head's like really small and then you've got this ginormous body and big limbs. Like, I see that all the time too, and it's so bizarre to me. I'm like, how do people not notice? And why am I noticing this so much? And I see nobody else commenting on it. And I'm not talking about this because I'm trying to criticize. I want to talk about it because I want to make the industry better. I want artists to do better. And by paying attention to these things, that I know I'm not the only collector that thinks about proportions, because I talk to people all the time about it. So I know others out there notice that there's a wonkiness, if you will, to the proportions of doll kits with the bodies that are chosen to put them together with. So if I'm not the only one thinking about it and I'm bothered by it and it will hinder me, like if I see a doll that I absolutely love for sale and I see that the body is all off, it is a complete turnoff to me. Like, I can't even begin to tell you what a turnoff it is. And it sometimes will deter me from making a purchase, because these things all matter, especially if it's a very high-end doll, which that's what I lean towards, prototypes, high-end dolls that are really sought after. It needs to be right for me to spend that amount of money on it. So paying attention to those things only will help artists. Same with, the companies selling the doll kits. Maybe I haven't done enough research and maybe there's a plethora of bodies to choose from depending on the company you're buying from, and it's the artists that are choosing the wrong bodies. I'm not sure. So feel free to enlighten me because I'd like to know. I'm a person who wants to educate myself and be knowledgeable. So that's why I'm talking about this, because I just think that we could do better. I think artists can do better. And I think that companies selling the vinyl kits should be doing a better job of offering selections that fit that particular kit and pay attention to it. And I know that there's a plethora of kits. There's hundreds of kits out there. How can they possibly pay attention to it? Well, when they list it on their website for sale, they should be looking at what actually works with it and give options, different body types, because there are many different, cloth body types that are for sale. You just might have to do a little bit more homework when you're choosing to buy it. I don't know. But I don't know. Share with me. I want to know if I'm the only one out here. I know I'm not the only one out here, but of like my regular, subscribers that come on and watch, have you noticed this? Have you thought about it? Have you had to change out a lot of the bodies on your dolls, or has it not been your experience? Like, I'd love to get everybody's take on it, because I think that it's important, especially when we're talking about this amount of money. Like, it's a lot of money. We want it to be right. We want it to be great, the whole thing. And it's not to say the right body is put together with the right limbs and everything, and you still don't have to adjust it. That's just a different thing. Like, adjusting to your preferences and what you like when you get a doll home, weighting wise, that's a whole different thing. I'm talking about when it's properly weighted, does it work? right? Does it work when it arrives? That, you know, and I'm also want to say that I know that a lot of overseas or out of the country artists will purposely ship a doll with no weight. You have to kind of expect that if a doll's coming in from overseas, it's most likely going to be underweighted purposely because of potential custom fees and what it costs to ship the actual doll. So that's also not what I'm talking about. Like, trust me, I have gotten Russian, Belarus, I've run the gamut of from Germany, from artists all over the place, and they do purposely tell you it's gonna come understuffed. You're gonna have to add weight if you don't want the doll being really, really light, and that's fine. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, like, you get a doll from an artist within your country and like it's all wrong, like proportions all wrong. Share your experience. I would like to hear it. Like I said, I'm just trying to bring these things up because I want everybody to do better. I want the dolls to work. Like, maybe I'm only noticing this more because it's a lot of bigger dolls, and the bigger dolls create so much stuffing to make them hold themselves together, and they just are overstuffed and wonky looking, that now it's like everywhere in my face. I see it everywhere I can see it. So share your thoughts, guys. Hopefully you find this helpful. If you're like a couple of my friends who are like, I didn't notice this until you started talking about it, so thanks for that, because now I can't unsee every time I see a wonky out of proportion doll. There's that, because, you know, my friends have told me that I have now opened their eyes, because I have to share these things. I like to talk about this. This is like what you get together with your doll friends and you're chatting about. It's like, this is the interesting topics of conversation that I love to talk to my friends about, is different things about the hobby that we can, one, improve on. You know, it affects our pocketbooks. It affects our love and connection and bonding with a doll if we get it and it's not right. Like, all of these things all add up to peace and harmony and happiness within the hobby. Knowing what you're buying, you're going to get the best of the best of the best, right? So it's all these things I love talking about, like dolly stuff like this. These are what interest me, you know? So yeah, let's have a conversation. So share below. Also, I want to bring up one thing, is that because now my channel has the ability to tag different products that I am sharing in my videos. I will tag them so that you can actually literally click a link and go over, if you're interested in buying something that I am sharing on my channel or in a video, it will actually be a clickable link that you can just click on it within the video, and then it'll take you to that product. So for those of you out there that are having trouble, like sometimes finding the things that I'm sharing, this will make it easier for you guys to quickly find the products, items, clothing, whatever it is that I'm sharing in a video. This will take you right to it so that you can actually purchase it. So I'm finding that to be really helpful. But I wanted to point it out because not everybody is aware that they have that option. So yes, so tagged products will now be a part of my videos. So if I'm sharing something, I will tag it. You guys can click on the link and go over and buy it if you want it. And that way we can all share in all the fun and all the stuff that we're sharing, with whether it's for our diaper bags or if it's clothing outfits. I will be able to help you get them if you really want to bring them home yourself. So there you go. That's the only other update I have for you. Again, if you're suffering like I am suffering in this crazy heat wave, and I'm not suffering, I shouldn't say that. I have air conditioning. But I'm bummed that I can't go out in it, is the only thing, because there's no way I'm taking a doll out there. Like, it's humid, it's thick air. If it were dry air, it'd be different. This is humid air that we have in our area, so not what you want to be out with a doll. So anyways, hopefully it'll cool off, and then I will be able to get to do those outing videos, because I'm dying to do that for you guys. I want to take my stroller out. I want to take Addie out. I really want to take Addie out very badly on a walk or an outing of some sort. So hopefully the weather will cooperate soon enough. But anyways, guys, I hope you're having a great day so far, and you'll see me very soon. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye-bye.